Hello there, YouTube. Old friend of mine. I am live doing this video. There is no editing, there is no script, there is nothing to go with this video. So everything that could go wrong probably will. While I've actually been setting this up, there is a light above my head that keeps going really dim and then it brightens back up. And I ain't playing with it. So yeah, that's quite interesting, isn't it? The reason I thought I'd do this broadcast is because it is quite late at night, and I have been looking at the news recently and thinking I should do a video about that. And then another story will come on. I need to do a video about that. And then there'll be a topic that I find quite interesting. I'm like, oh, I need to do a video about that. And I never seem to get round to either filming these videos that I have the ideas of, or even just, I don't know, doing a blog post about it or something like that, because my time at the moment isn't my own time, if that makes sense. I've had so much going on recently, and there is a little bit of explaining that I need to do, which is to basically explain to you, a lot of people were thinking not too long ago that I was uploading quite a bit of content. I think it was about like 4, maybe 5 videos a month, something like that. And you know, it was good. The content was getting out there, and you know, the debate was on, and then it all just seemed to stop. And that is because of my delightful laptop that I use. Basically, what happened was I was filming a video for a BevRants video, and my laptop sound decided to just go. When I had this headset on, which is a USB headset, the sound would work fine. But when I unplugged it, the speakers in the laptop wouldn't work at all. Everything on the computer would give you the sort of idea that it was producing the sound, but you wouldn't hear anything. So I took it in for repair. They sent it back. Turns out they'd been looking for the wrong thing. It hadn't been booked in for a sound issue at all. So on the same day, it got sent back, and they said they fixed it. All they'd done basically is wipe the software, and it had worked for a little bit. So they sent it back, and I brought it home, tried it out on the same day, took it back in for repair because it didn't work. Anyway, nearly 5 times my laptop was sent in for repair, and eventually they replaced the motherboard in the laptop. I still actually have no idea what the actual problem was, but yeah, for a long time it meant I actually couldn't produce any videos. So not only did BevRants suffer, and no videos went up from BevRants, but also I have another blog on another channel which is called Life with Bev, and those videos had to stop going up because I just wasn't able to produce them videos, and I sort of gave up on the filming because I have an issue with the camera that I film on. So when I'm out and about filming, this is the camera that I use. So anyone watching this who watches the Life with Bev videos, this is the camera that I use. The only thing is, when you now go to turn the camera on, as you can see, that front bit does not come out, and all that comes up on the screen, you'll see it in a second. Is it doing it now? There it is. Lens error. What a delightful message to see, eh? And I keep getting that message. When I was filming the last episode of Life with Bev that I did, that was quite a common problem, because I don't film them videos all in one go. I film like a little bit here, a little bit there, and in between the camera gets turned off. And I was actually having quite a number of problems with it, that when the camera was getting turned on, I was getting the lens error thing, and I had to like take the batteries out, stick the batteries back in, it would work. And then obviously the camera hasn't been used for a couple of months, and now every time I try and turn it on, I just get lens error, so it doesn't work. So I now need to save up and get another camera, which also, interestingly enough, there is a GoFundMe page for me to get a new camera. How delightful is that? That's fun. So yeah, so that's why there hasn't been any videos from me for a while now. It was the 31st of July that the laptop actually got took in for repair. So how fun is that? I have, however, I've had like my mum's laptop, and there was a time when I got the laptop back before they replaced the motherboard on it, and I was able to record a video. The sound went as I was editing the video, and I thought, no, do you know what? I'm committed to it now. I've filmed it. I'm halfway through editing this. It's going to happen. So I ended up with these on for literally a whole night, editing the video, getting it uploaded, make sure it was working, and then the laptop went back in. So that was a lot of fun. Anyway, I suppose you're all probably wondering, what about the news stories? Like, what have you heard that we haven't? Okay, so one of the last videos that I did on this channel was about the refugees. The refugee crisis is still ongoing. I should probably say that actually not much has changed in the way of the refugees still needing help. The thing that has changed, though, is that Germany has closed its borders. What fun the Germans are. Look, I'm not gonna like go around this issue because I am fed up of seeing things about it. Like, I have a friend of mine on Facebook who lives over in Canada, and we all know by looking at maps how big Canada is, right? He posted a thing on his Facebook, and I swear to God, I am not making this up, and it isn't something that he created. It was the Canadian flag with the thing underneath it that says, "Fuck off, we're full." That, you see that self-editing for bad language? Because I'm fed up of my videos not getting fucking monetized because I swear in my videos. What fun. So yeah, and I just thought, hang on, you live in Canada, like, and you're full? Really? Because I flew over Canada for about 2 hours or something like that on my flight, and I didn't see many houses. I don't think you're full. So that really did shock me because I was in the back of my mind going, Canada isn't that full, and yet you're posting stuff like that. Like, where are people's morals these days? And why have we got the ideas that we have? It's something that I didn't get when I was actually creating the video that I did on this channel, where people are saying, you know, this is my country and you're not welcome here and all this sort of stuff. And you have to think for a little second going, it's not your country. Like, no part of this country is yours. So who made you in charge of border control? You know, who are you to have an opinion of who comes in and who doesn't? You know, you cannot turn around and go, you're not welcome in this country, because it's not your country to say you're not welcome into. You know, these actual borders that we talk of don't exist. You know, it is possible in a number of countries around the world to literally walk from country to country, same as it is in America. You can literally walk from state to state. It's only sort of like an imaginary Google Maps line that exists. It's just crazy how people are so built up about their land. It's like, it's not your land. You know, during the Second World War, we wouldn't have expected anybody to live in the middle of what got known as no man's land. We wouldn't have expected anyone to live there. Yet people these days are expecting people to live in Syria. And I don't know if you've seen a lot about Syria. If you've seen my refugee video, you will have seen footage. Syria looks like no man's land, just with a couple of extra houses thrown in. You know, it's not a good place to live, like any part of that country. You know, and yeah, okay, there's other countries around the world that will take in their fair share, but they're not them governments, and the most of the people there are not the ones going, well, we're full. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second. And yeah, I'm completely gobsmacked by people's opinion on this. It shocks me, it appalls me, and I don't get it, and I don't like it. So yeah, but that wasn't something I was going to make a video about, because I've already sort of said my piece on that video, and yeah, I think the message might start getting through sometime soon. One of the things that I sat down earlier on and recorded the video for, which is why I have this lovely backdrop of an unmade bed behind me, is to do with this 14-year-old boy who's Muslim in America, and he got arrested under terrorist charges because he brought a homemade clock into school. The thing that amazed me the most was actually my mother on this topic, because I turned around to her and I said, "This is so racist. Like, it is so clearly racist." And she went, "Well, how?" And I said, "Well, can you imagine if it was a white American child that had made exactly the same thing that took it into school? Do you really think that that school would have called the police?" I don't think they would have. I think they would have been going, "Oh, what have you created, little Timmy?" Because his name's Timmy now, but not the one from South Park. Close, though. He looks a little bit like him. But yeah, and so they'd have been going, "Oh, well, what have you created there, Timmy? Oh, wow, isn't that really good? You're dead good at creating stuff." But because it is a Muslim child and people saw wires and batteries and everything, people instantly think, "Oh, shit, he's made a fucking..." Well, there goes my swearing thing for this video. But they're going to think he's made a bomb and we need to get out of here, you know? And so the school called him on that, but the school called the police on that. But this is what I don't get. How can you not think that that is racist? Like, it's crazy. You know, a number of people that I know always turn around and they say how close the Islamic State is to Muslims and Islam and everything like that. But the truth of the matter is, it isn't anything to do with like Islam and the things that Islam stands for. So I don't get where this opinion comes from. I really don't understand it. And the case that happened in America with that 14-year-old is clearly racism at its finest, in all its glory. That is racism. And I don't care how many people disagree with me, because that's the truth of the matter. I'm disgusted that even the police would turn up and arrest this child. He's 14 years old. When have you ever heard a 14-year-old in any part of the world issue a terrorism threat? It's never happened, has it? A 14-year-old. There was one case that I remember of where a child had bombs stuck to it. I can't remember where it was in the world. But yeah, so this child had bombs strapped to the child. And was basically sent off into the middle of a shopping centre, and someone else pressed the button and boom, there goes the child. And yeah, that's the only case I've ever heard of that happening. Like, I've never heard a natural, peace-loving Muslim child creating a bomb and taking it to school. And just, you know, I don't get it. And neither does he, and neither does the president of America. Like, the actual president of the United States has had to invite this child to the White House because of what happened. You know, the people that are supposed to be there to protect and serve still arrested this child. I'm not being funny. If this child had created a bomb and was going to set it off in class, he would have done it before the police got there. How many shootings have happened in schools in America and the police turn up after people have been shot, after people have been killed? How many times has that happened? And you seriously think that a 14-year-old is going to wait until the police turn up, then set his bomb off? What gives? How can this not be racism? It's just, it's mind-blowingly stupid of whatever adult thought, I need to call the police. You know? I just don't get it. But look, I'm not just going to blame the adults involved in this situation, because they're not all to blame on this. A lot of the blame has to go to the media. And the media is another video that I am going to upload, and I'm still going to do it because I'm so angry and disappointed and bitter now towards the press, because they post such awful stories that you know are fake. And it's just incredible how, like, most people will be terrified by some of these stories that are getting posted in the press. Like, one of them that I saw, when was it now? I think it was about two, maybe 3 years ago over here in the UK. And we started getting these news stories, and it was all about the false widow spider, which is supposed to be the cousin of the black widow. Now, of course, you don't have to be a scientist to know the black widow spider is a bit of a nasty spider, but the black widow cannot cope with British weather. I mean, I'm surprised that, well, anyone can, to tell you the truth, but that's not the point here. So apparently, we got the false widow over here in the UK, and apparently it's stayed down south, but there were some newspapers that reported it in Scotland, which is like sort of way north as to where I am. And so we all know the deal with spiders, right? When it gets warm outside, spiders are outside. When it's winter and it's a little bit colder, spiders don't like that so much, so they come into the house. That's the way it has always been, right? So last year and even this year to a certain extent, the scientists and the spider experts have been coming out and they've been saying the false widows, they don't actually actively come looking for humans. If you scare them, then yeah, they're going to come for you and they will bite you. But their bite is basically like a bee sting. It creates a bit of a burning sensation, a bit of a rash. That's it. Like, it is not going to kill you. And these are experts that have actually been quoted in them newspapers. The same newspapers that up until, when was the last one I read? I think I've read about 3 of these stories now, where it's all like, oh, a child was taken into hospital and she had to stay there for 3 days because a spider bit her leg and she couldn't move and her leg was paralyzed. And it shows you this like really revolting image of a child's leg, and you think that was not caused by a spider. That was not caused by a false widow spider. Like, it's stupid. And yet people are buying it. People are going like, people are taking their stories seriously. And that confuses me. It confuses me more why people do it these days, because we have seen a humongous example of the media lying not even that long ago. Like, I live, I'm not going to tell you where I live, but I live in a town which is between an area called Liverpool and an area called Manchester, and we're sort of like right in between the both of them. Now, Liverpool Football Club years ago, we went over to another stadium and there was an incident which is commonly referred to throughout the world as Hillsborough. And basically it was a football stadium stand and people got crushed. And in the end, there was 96 deaths from that incident. Now, within the following days and the weeks and the months, there was a newspaper called The Sun. You know, like the sun, the one that's in the sky, and it shines light on everything and reveals everything to you. Well, the Sun posted stories that were completely false, saying about how the policemen were trying to resuscitate people, and the angry, drunk Liverpool fans were beating up the policemen, and it was so bad. And all of these fans, and it was caused because they were all drunk. They'd all been heavily drinking, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that story ran for a long, long time until about maybe a year and a bit ago. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom apologized. And he said that there was going to be a new inquiry, there was going to be this, there was going to be that happening, and he apologized. And that forced the Sun newspaper to publish an apology. Now, bearing in mind, for years and years and years, they've done like pages upon near enough special editions of how bad the Liverpool fans were. The apology could literally fit on the palm of your hand. Like, it was that small. It was like, we're sorry. But when they were like publishing these lies, they were like, oh my God, these people are really bad. And they were all drunk and everything like that. They shouted it from the rooftops. When it comes to them apologizing, they're literally like, oh, sorry about that. Terrible. Sorry. And you're like, you bullshitters. Like, where do you get off? Seriously. And that's not the only newspaper to do that. There is the Daily Mail, the Mirror, the Sun is still at it, and one that I've noticed more and more recently, Huffington Post. Yeah, Huffington Post. Now, they most surprised me Because years and years and years ago, in Huffington Post's history, I believe it's when they had a different owner. Might explain a lot to you there. But that newspaper was one to turn around and say, we as a company will not use the term or the word homophobia, because homophobia is nothing. It doesn't exist, because it isn't a phobia of gay people. So we're going to take a stance and we're going to say that doesn't exist. And I was really proud of them for doing that. However, though, it appears there's been a change in management, and certainly whoever has got it now, I don't know what company it is that's got it now, love to go and use other newspapers' stories as their own. And I get really disappointed by stuff like that, because I see the stuff that they're posting and you go, that's a lie. And then you'll see, and the expert said to the Daily Mail reporter, and you're like, are you really that stupid? Like, seriously, you're a company. You make money from the news. The least that you could do is print the fucking truth. But they don't. And more people now are starting to cotton on to, like, hang on. That doesn't sound so right. And yeah, so that's another video that I'm going to be doing in the future, because I just keep thinking, you're off your rockers. Like, seriously, if you believe anything in the press. This is why, in the video that I did about that the Muslim child in America, in that video towards the end, and I said, if you're going to read stuff in the newspaper, if you're going to watch the news on the television, if you're that interested in the story that you're able to form an opinion of it, then do some research on it. And that's the biggest thing about it all. You know, there is so many, literally billions of websites where people can upload their story. You know, a lot of people saw, going back to that 14-year-old, a lot of people saw the image of him in the handcuffs and the black police officer behind him. And, you know, this boy has such a look on his face of, I haven't done anything. Why am I getting treated like this? And yet that image went around everywhere. That image went completely viral. But what didn't go viral is the television interviews that he has done. You know, when the far right hear about this Muslim child and they're all, oh, he's Indian and he's this and he's that and blah, blah, blah. This child speaks with a normal American accent. Apart from the colour of his skin, you wouldn't know that he was Muslim. And even going by the colour of his skin, you can't know that he's Muslim. So, you know, it's just incredible. Really is absolutely incredible. And yeah, one of the other things that I was going to do, sorry, I need to get more comfortable. Yay for my trousers. Thumbs up for my trousers. If you want to do something for this video. Yeah, and so while I didn't have my laptop, one of the things that I was going to do was continue to raise awareness of issues that are still going on in the world that aren't getting reported in the media. For example, there is still stuff going on in the Ukraine. People forget about this. You know, Russia is not a good guy at the minute. They are still proactively trying to get the Ukraine to be coming back as a part of Russia. And that's not reported in the media. And it's not hard to get the footage. You only have to look here on YouTube to see. Like, you only need to search it and you will find images and videos from, like, not even a day ago of stuff that's happening and lives that are still being lost. And it's quite interesting that I say about this, because the same thing happened with Syria. And people forget about this. Everyone's so up in arms about the refugees at the moment. Everyone forgets that this story of everything that has happened or is happening in Syria was completely forgotten about for a long time. Because what happened with Syria, the brief history of it is, years and years and years ago, do we all remember Egypt and their uprising against their government? And then they got in the Muslim Brotherhood and they didn't like that, so they uprose again and all that stuff happened. Well, around about the same time, it happened in Syria. And the people were uprising against the government. And interestingly enough, you can also find that it was around about that time that even Russia was getting involved, and they said, actually, you need to get out of power. And he didn't. This, oh God, President Assad, isn't it? Yeah, President Assad. He refused to leave office. He refused for him and his government to go. And that's what literally millions of Syrians were calling for right across the country. So that was happening. And it was sort of like for a long time, it was the government versus the people. And I remember doing a video about it on this channel. And I can't remember what the video is called, but it is from a while ago. And around about the time that I did the video, the government were doing chemical attacks against its own people. That's how bad it was. But not long after that, the media in the West left Syria. And we didn't hear anything for a long time. We didn't know, if you're going by the media, people didn't know that the violence and everything was still going on for a long time. And so many lives were lost. But because it wasn't reported in the news, people didn't care. And then the next thing that we hear about Syria, of course, is that the Islamic State have moved into Syria. And now the Islamic State versus the government in Syria. So now, of course, we hear all about that. And because the fighting and the violence and everything is so bad, the refugees are created. People need to leave their homes in order to live. So now we're all up in arms about that. And it's like, well, hang on. If our news was to have stayed in Syria and reported what was going on as it was happening, I'm quite sure that the people in the West eventually would have raised their voices enough for our governments to take action. You know, the most that got done over here a long time ago was a speech made by the Prime Minister. And he said, oh, you know, it's really sad about Assad. And we are working with whoever to do whatever. Turns out it wasn't enough. And we have the incident that we have today because we failed to do anything. So that's why so much, whenever I see about the refugees, I partly feel we let you down a little bit. We let it go this far. So, yeah, anyway. Not going on to that topic again. Listen, there is loads and loads of news that has been happening recently. Some of it just absolutely appalling. But at the same time that all this bad stuff has been happening, there has also been sort of good stuff that has been happening, if that makes sense. For example, one of the planes from a while ago that literally went in the sea and vanished, we've started finding little bits of that plane. So we sort of now know what area to now look in. So I'm quite positive we're going to find more, like, not footage, we're going to find more parts of that plane. And hopefully in the end, we will find the black boxes and know what has happened. You know, be able to put to bed all of these rumors and the lies and the theories and everything like that and actually just know what the hell happened. So, yeah, there is lots going on. But I just thought, you know what? I need to just have a rant. That's the whole reason that I have this channel, just to have a rant. And for so long, I wasn't able to. So I just thought, okay, now I've got everything back working. I'm going to go and do a rant. And I did a rant. So thank you very much for watching, you guys. Anyone who's watching at a later date, well, this isn't live. You're just watching on, I don't know, what do you call it? Catch up? Something? I don't know. Feel free to want to add anything to this video. I will be doing more videos quite soon. I have, for the actual BevRants channel, I have got tons of stuff to film. Because we will soon be coming up to the 100th live video. How's that? Isn't that quite scary? So when the 100th video goes up, there is going to be literally tons of new stuff that is going to hit this channel. And I'm not going to say what it is. Some of it is old, some of it is new. But yeah, let's just say there is going to be a lot to talk about on this channel. The overall aim is for when the 100th video goes up, that there will be like a month where I don't have a pet cat. That is my phone making cat noises at me, which is so creepy when you wake up at 3 in the morning and you say, meow, what the hell? So the aim is that there will be a month and there will be a video every single day, a new video every day on this channel for a month. That's what I'm going to try and do. I've known other YouTubers to go and do it in the past. They've been able to do it just, and I just think it would be quite a challenge to do, and it would be quite good fun as well. So that's my aim. So I've still got a lot of working out to do with that. I've got a lot of filming to do, and I need a new camera to film some of the stuff for BevRants, because some of the videos that I've got to film and some of the footage that I'm going to be using, I ain't going to have this on for it. So that's going to be exciting. So, yeah, so thank you very much for watching my literally rant about anything. If there's something you want to rant about, leave it in the comment section bit below. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. So, over and out.